Uh, I hate to say it, but sports is going to let you down at some point. I
Yep.
shouldn't say this, but just because I brought it up, you will lose that bet, and that's going to feel horrible. Your team will get bounced from the playoffs, and that's going to feel horrible too. You may be a young student athlete who gets cut from the team, or maybe you don't get cut, but maybe you're playing a sport where you finish college and that's it. You're done playing sports. So there's a lot of disappointment to be had in sports. And look at these sacrifices that you're making for what? To what end? Where
Right.
does ultimately the joy come from? And maybe you could say, oh, but it's a thing I do with my brother. We get together and we watch the draft and we order pizza and whatever. Sure, I'm sure it's enjoyable, but once that starts to get out of hand and you're doing it for this, for now it's the baseball all-star game. Well, I take the day of the baseball all-star game off because even though it's at night, we get ready for it all day long. And now it starts to be this pattern of behavior where it's become so easy for you to make these excuses. And then if it was, let's fast forward, maybe it's as high up as your parish priest, that's having the conversation with you. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. But what are you doing in your faith life? And if the answer is what do you mean,
Right.
then obviously
Oof.
you've kind of gone down the wrong road. So I think society has made it, I don't want to say so much of a priority, but let's face it, you could turn on, I mean, ESPN has grown to so many different networks, so many different channels.
Oh yeah.
And in the Catholic faith, we have EWTN, and then sure, there's those of us that have podcasts, but you can find sports all over the place all day long. Fox Sports, you can go through all the different networks that do it. And it's just so darn accessible that I think that's something that poses a challenge to us that we do have to work through and not make sure that and make sure that we're not embracing it and saying, great, I can get my sports fix any time of day. Well, guess what? You can also pray any time of day, or you can
Yeah.
go to a podcast, or you can go to the Bible, or you can, and there are apps, that you can download to engage with your Catholic faith instead of engaging with more statistics.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I like what you said too about how your sports is gonna let you down. It doesn't matter who you cheer for. You could be cheering for the one like the Dodgers. You could be cheering for the Patriots back in their prime. You could be cheering. It's gonna let you down when you think you're unstoppable. They're gonna let you down. And your faith will never let you down. So no, 100% agree. And like you mentioned, just all the stations, all the channels. I mean, people are more willing to spend $100 a month on all these other sports channels and everything, all these streaming stuff to watch all the games, and yet they're throwing in, maybe $10 in the collection box, you know, once a week, or they're not giving to local food shelves or other stuff. It's way more financially too, which is we gotta straighten that out too as a society. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, great point. Great point. Yeah, all the money that you are spending in the betting app, and
yeah.
then the collection basket comes around and you just pass it right down to the next person without putting anything in.
Right, yeah. Well said. That is, yeah, very true. So, like, how? I mean, we should push ourselves, right? And and God lets us be tested, or invites us to kind of go beyond what we feel comfortable with, sacrifices or just daily lives.